Strikeaway and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win it. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
All right, welcome into Chatterbox Reds, a little different edition tonight, Kirby, with the United States of America currently down 3-1 to Japan, and hopefully we can figure out a way to mount a rally. You can see the list of topics as usual. Before I get into that, though, Nick, how are you doing? I guess that's like the obligatory thing that you have to ask your co-host just to make sure you don't seem like a complete ass. So how are you doing?
Well, thank you for not being a complete ass tonight. I am doing great, Trace. How are you?
I could be better if it would require the United States of America to score at least 3 more runs in this baseball game. So we'll see how it ends up going. As you can see, the list of topics, Charlie Goldsmith is in the house. Got the Votto report from Nick. Starting lineups. I don't know what edition this is yet of the starting lineups, but maybe we'll get it right. One of these
3.0.
One of these starting the rotation, and then we'll cap it off with probably the best thing to talk about, I'm sure, which is the bullpen. But without further ado, let's bring in Charlie. Charlie, thank you for being gracious with your time. And I guess we'll ask you as well, because we actually care. I care about you a lot, and that is, how are you doing? I know you've been out away from town for quite a while, so how are you hanging in there?
I'm great. Off day today, got some errands done, filled up the car with gas, got a sit-down lunch, some barbecue. Things are going well. Definitely ready for the season to start, though. We're at that point of the spring.
Is this really just like the grind at this point, this last week?
So in a lot of years, it would be probably the most interesting time of camp. Like, for example, last year, you had the Shogo news come down. You usually have some really interesting position battles at this point of camp. Will prospects make the team? You know, this Red Spring training, there's been a lot very interesting that's been happening, but a lot of the roster feels pretty locked in. A lot of the injuries, with the exception of Joey Votto, we kind of have a good sense of where those are going on. And now it's, a couple, final rotation spot and maybe one more bench spot, and then the back end of the bullpen that we'll figure out this week.
Charlie, I'm going to ask a pretty open-ended question, the first one of the night. What do you think the ceiling is here? I mean, maybe you've shared that before, but what's, in your opinion, what's the ceiling? What would be success?
I don't even look at it from a wins and loss perspective. I look at the measure of success for this year's Reds team as being invested into every at-bat they give. How many at-bats last season did guys you knew had no long-term future with the Reds get? How long of a runway did they give Aristides Aquino late last season? The Reds have, some really interesting young guys, Spencer Steer, Nick Senzel, Jose Barrero. They need to hit pretty quickly because the next wave of McLean, Strand, De La Cruz, they're coming. And again, the investment you have in every Reds at-bat because of how much those matter. And, those prospects then coming along and forcing the issue and earning potentially everyday playing time by the end of the season. How these individual young players progress and specifically who become, who's this year's Graham Ashcraft, but on the position player side, those are going to really be the crucial things that determine, how many of those guys they find will mark how successful of a year it is.
I'm going to jump right into the chat because we got an awesome question from Carrick. This guy is all over the minor league guys. He asks, do you know anything about Bryce Bowen or Steve Hadjar playing? Or Bryce Bowen, not Bowman. You heard anything about those two guys?
I don't have an update right now, no. I haven't checked in on that yet, but I know that they both dealt with things over the course of the last year.
Some of those minor league guys on the backfield's a little harder to keep track of out in Arizona.
I mean, there are just so many of them. I've watched a couple games this season, but from an injury perspective, that's something I want to learn more about by the end of camp. So definitely, again, some fun, watching that low A Daytona team, the athleticism, the power, the combination of, they have the big studs. You got Almonte, you got Confidant. You got Cam Collier's playing with that team. And then these insane quick twitch athletes they have, your Acostas, your Carlos Georges, guys like that. Victor, I mentioned him. I really like Acuna on the mound, the guy they got back for Naquin. He keeps it low in the strike zone, and he changes the timing of his delivery a lot. Very fun to watch pitcher. So I've definitely been intrigued by a lot of that I've seen on the backfields.
Well, Kyle Schwarber, I don't know if you know, Charlie, or if you've been watching or you got something near you, just missed a fastball right down the middle to fly out to end the inning. So the United States is one inning closer to defeat. Next question is kind of a little behind the scenes, comes from Alex. He asks, do you know any of trades that you felt like almost went down? And then when you get that information, how long do you hold on to something like that before you break it? What's the behind the scenes look like on that?
Yeah, so I guess, of course, last year, the obvious thing is the trade deadline. You knew about the different conversations that they were having, and, we were very open and not open, but very, we reported that Tyler Mahle and Luis Castillo and Brandon Drury were involved in trade talks. We talked to the players about that process as well. We had a sense of some of the teams that were interested. We knew the Yankees were very interested in Luis Castillo, stuff like that. The Twins seemed to always be very high on Tyler Mahle, and we reported that process as well. And, ultimately it's following those conversations, checking in with the people, having those conversations, learning about potential returns. And then, of course, there's nothing to report until the decision's been made. And those, individually happen very quickly on, they'd been in the works for a while, but those, there's some very, pushing it over the finish line happened on around late. I think it was a Saturday night with Castillo, and then early on that trade deadline afternoon with Tyler Mahle and Brandon Drury as well. So again, just keeping track with all those players as they go through these big moments.
So Charlie, got a question here from Michael. Kind of goes along with something I wanted to ask you. Looking at the kind of the last roster spot, looks like maybe it's Chad Pender versus Henry Ramos, and then Michael added what I was thinking. Do you think there's any last minute waiver wire guys to look into as well as we kind of get closer to opening day here, just a little over a week away?
I don't have that list. They don't have that list, but a right-handed hitting outfielder and a reliever. Those are things the Reds looked at adding at different points during the offseason and weren't able to. So assuredly, they're certainly monitoring that market at the very least right now. Again, not holes, but needs that you could certainly address with the roster immediately. Certainly at-bats that you could find right away for opening day. Again, the Reds didn't get everything they wanted to get done this offseason because of payroll constraints, because of, opportunities that just couldn't get done because, they were close on one thing, but it didn't finish through, stuff like that. And it's a work in progress for a team that, again, certainly is very much a big picture work in progress overall. They need to be monitoring these fringes. They have a need for more youth, for more upside, for more potential. And if there's a talented guy at a position of need that gets waived or hits the wire, certainly I think they'd be interested.
Charlie, one of the hot topic of debates, if you will, and or whatever you want to call it, sports talk radio perhaps, maybe more than anything, is this whole ideology of the fact that whether it was said out loud in public or not, I don't know, maybe you can shed a little light on it, but the whole Joey Votto going to a contender, if that's a situation at the end of the year, you're around this guy more than anybody probably from a public perspective. You're around the team more than anybody from a public perspective. What's your overall thoughts on that? Is that more or less just kind of pandering to a topic that's relevant and conversational, or is there actual maybe substantial evidence that would suggest that that's even an option on the table come trade deadline?
I know Joey isn't thinking about a trade right now. Joey knows that he needs to hit. He knows that theoretically, let's pretend he could get traded. Joey knows that he has to hit better to even to be a guy that someone would want to have in their lineup consistently on their team. He said this last year. He was at the level of a backup or a platoon guy, and that's not what he wants to be. Toronto gets thrown around. They have Brandon Belt. Joey needs to prove that he can hit at that level this season, stuff like that. It is very important to him. And he said this, the relationship he has with the city of Cincinnati. He has a no trade clause. Like the question Nick Kroll was asked in that radio interview was, if Votto approached you and said he wanted to be traded, Votto has had plenty of moments in his Reds career to request a trade, and that hasn't happened yet. And I know right now his focus is on becoming the best version of himself again and seeing what that looks like. Not, what team he's going to, I know he's talked about his focus right now isn't what team he's going to be playing on in 2024 when he could be a free agent. And I don't think he's thinking about what team he's going to be playing on in September either.
All right, Charlie, everyone keeps bugging me nonstop. Is Hunter Strickland going to make this opening day roster? And I know what the answer is to this, but you go ahead and say it.
Yes, I don't have Hunter on my roster projection. I have Derek Law taking that spot. I had a good conversation with Hunter yesterday. He knows he struggled last year. He said he re-signed with the Reds because he has unfinished business, because he knows he was so frustrated by the results, one, and two, felt such a strong connection and relationship, and in some ways an obligation to make it up to the Reds. People he had really strong relationships with by coming back. He added a splitter. He does have a lot of confidence that hitters won't be able to sit on a slider that much with that pitch. But let's just be honest, and he said this too, the results haven't been there this spring. And I have liked what I've seen from Derek Law. He mixes pitches, he attacks the strike zone. The number one thing I'm looking at in the bullpen this year is guys who don't walk guys, because the Reds walked guys in the bullpen more than any other team last year, and they added a lot of vets. Your Alex Youngs, Derek Law was here last year. Fernando Cruz, guys who don't. Buck Farmer's always a guy who hasn't really walked a lot of guys. I think that's a priority for them, and I think Law has just frankly looked better. So I would have Cruz, Young, and Law as 6, 7, 8 in the bullpen for the Reds right now.
Charlie's a man of the people.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he got direct to the point as soon as the question was asked, because he wanted to let everybody know as fast as possible that he
don't drag me down with you guys.
Yeah,
I love it.
But hey, they do like Hunter. Hunter was fine in August and September last year. The Reds have trotted out much worse relief pitchers than Hunter Strickland. He has a fastball with life. Again, he's excited about the splitter, his durability and availability. He has made it into the final 10, if you will. And if Lucas Sims is hurt, he's scheduled to throw a bullpen tomorrow with back spasms. Everyone's very optimistic about where that stands right now. But if another injury pops up or something, the list gets shorter and shorter. And at the end of the day, the Reds had Ross Detweiler on their team for half the season last season. You need available relievers, and you can have a lot worse options on minor league contracts than Hunter Strickland.
Another lightning rod guy, Charlie, is a guy by the name of Nick Senzel. Any kind of positional stance there on an expectation of how far he's coming along? Main question, someone in the chat even brings up, Alec Wallace says, why would the Reds add Pender and or Ramos to the 40-man just so Senzel can replace them? Do you have any light or thoughts on that?
Well, and again, the Reds last year was very bad. They weren't, but even then, they were making decisions getting the best possible players on the 26-man roster for whenever they needed it. They weren't going to, make a roster move for a worse player just because he was on the 40-man roster. I think they were pretty consistent with that. Nick Senzel, that would be Senzel's spot, like a Ramos spot or a Pinder spot. One of the guys will make the team at the start, and then when Novato comes back, one of those, or maybe someone else would fall off as well. Nick Senzel's still not running 100% yet. He's swinging the bat well. He looks like he's in great shape. Probably the best shape I've seen him in since 2021. He's playing some outfield, playing some infield. He's really, really confident. And even more importantly, the coaches are genuinely excited about the progress he's showing with the swing change and his ability to drive the ball more and just have a more free, athletic swing instead of being so crouched down and stiff with what he was doing earlier. So, there was some optimism there. But again, Nick was saying, I want to be ready for the first week of spring training. And now, he might not even get into a spring training game as we enter the last week. So he'll continue his process. He'll continue to ramp up to full strength. He's a guy who, when he comes back, how is Will Benson hitting? Will he carve into some of Will Benson's at-bats? Will he carve into some of TJ Friedel's at-bats? He's certainly going to have to, it'll probably be dependent a lot on the guys ahead of him too. He'll definitely have to earn, the playing time that he had last season as the Reds added a center fielder they like in Benson. That's a part of the reason why they're having Senzel expand his positional versatility. So, no secret, big year for Senzel. Again, there have been some positives, even though he isn't running 100% yet.
You mentioned he's in good shape. Would you venture off to say he's the best shape of his life?
David Bell did say the batting practice looks as good as he's seen it.
All right, fair enough.
And Charlie, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I know you studied this pretty closely. But the Reds are going to have several 40-man roster spots open as they have some guys that are going to transfer to the 60-day IL, like Vlad Gutierrez. So really, like if Pender gets a 40-man spot, they don't have to cut anyone, right?
So I'm pulling up my spreadsheet right now on my phone. I would expect TJ probably going to the 60-day. Justin Dunn out a couple of months, maybe a 60-day candidate as well, especially if he used to build up. So if they only had to add 3 guys, which right now I would have Law, Young, and Pinder or Ramos as the 3 guys, you would have to open up one spot. Maybe that's a reliever who doesn't make the team. There's some relievers who have had some tough springs on the 40-man roster. Those would, maybe it's a Nick Solak, but they do like his bat. So they do have some candidates there. And again, they've consistently had the best guys in the 26-man roster. 40-man, maybe a tiebreaker, in case they're, if it really is 50-50, but genuinely they've been very consistent in having the best guys.
My final parting question with you, Charlie, is actually one that even got brought up in the here in the chat is, you look at a guy like Barrero, and he has certainly struggled or hasn't has not played to the capabilities of what everyone thought he was going to be able to play at when he was tearing it up in the minor leagues. And most people would say that his best attribute or best asset, at least in my opinion, perhaps, is his glove. What's the thought process on a guy that's struggling from a big league perspective at the plate, and that's why he probably is going to have a difficult time of finding a lineup, if any, to having a solution of moving him positions of center field? Am I being too pessimistic? Am I being too negative when I think to myself, how does that make any sense? Your overall thought on that, and I'll give you the floor.
So first of all, they're not moving him to center field. They're having him play some center field. I still think he's the opening day shortstop for the Reds in 2023. It's just in specific matchups when specific guys are available against left-handed pitching, you can get the best lineup by having him in center field. And, you mentioned the mental part with, working on the swing and all that. I genuinely think center field comes pretty easy to him. He's really good at it. And they had enough confidence in him to put him there in the middle of a playoff run, a position he had barely played before. And he did really, really well, giving the Reds some of their best center field of the year. I think he's done enough at the plate to become the Reds starting shortstop in 2023. But David Bell is a guy who, values position versatility, who has embraced that, who has moved a number of guys around over the course of his tenure with the Reds. And I think Jose could be certainly falling into that mix because he has the tools to do it, especially defensively.
All right, my last question for you, Charlie. Appreciate your time tonight and always helping us out here. Talk about the return of Luis Cessa, and do you think he's pretty much got a roster spot in the rotation locked up? And then how do you maybe handicap that 5th spot?
I think Luis Cessa, certainly you think that when he returned with the timing he did, he was confident that there would be enough timing to build up to be ready to be in the rotation. I do think they could use an off day or, some sort of scheduling with that rotation by having Cessa as a 5th starter to maybe get him one more ramp up opportunity. I do think he can get to 4 or 5, probably 5 innings by the start of the regular season, which is enough. I think he is one of their best 5 starters right now. Brandon Williamson, I really like his fastball, his curveball. He's taken it to another level during camp. I just do think from a consistency perspective, David Bell said this, there's just kind of one more gear to reach. So it is a big start for Williamson coming up this week, but I like Cessa in that 5th starter spot right now. And then I'd probably have Overton number 4 if I were projecting the roster right now.
All right, Charlie. Well, we've been very gracious with your time. It is not as late out there as it is here, but I suspect that you got some baseball to watch, and then you obviously have some planning and prepping to do for tomorrow. Anything that we didn't ask that you wanted to share or say that's on your mind?
Any more questions in the chat? Those were fun.
Any more questions in the chat? I'm sure if we give them enough time, Charlie, there will be plenty of questions in the chat. Nick, do you see any off the top of your head here as I read through them?
If you really ask, Charlie, this is a big one. Any back channel chatter of Diaz to the Mets?
Oh yeah.
If you trade a guy like Alexis Diaz, you don't just talk to one team about it. You talk to – that's not how trades work in terms of – I know there's been a lot of Mets-centric chatter about Alexis Diaz. Nick Kroll shot those rumors down in November when there was – a rumor about it. And I think that would definitely be a change of course for a team that's prioritized keeping the team together. They don't want to disrupt the team in spring training like they did last year. So I'm certainly not expecting that.
Not in the
You
chat.
think they'd really
Go ahead, Nick.
You think they'd really have to get blown away? Like someone would have to almost come to the Reds versus the Reds going to them, right?
I mean, this isn't the time you shop potential franchise closers, so that probably sounds right. Yeah.
If you had to place a large wager on one guy that's going to play for Team USA, that also represents the Cincinnati Reds, and his name's not Ellie De La Cruz, who is it?
Well, De La Cruz would play for the Dominican.
You're right. You're right.
The Dominican Republic. I could see Hunter Green really thriving. Obviously, you have the starting pitching thing where whether or not they're ready. But a guy like Hunter has the talent to do it. Lodolo does as well. Hunter has Team USA experience before. I could see Tyler Stevenson and Jonathan India participating in this event in the future. And, the Reds' young talent, we'll see where they are in 3-4 years.
So Hunter Green's the guy. Do you think, really quickly, that the positive energy and all of the unbelievable quotes that have come out of this event is going to change the pitching situation? Because we had, not to take you deep into the weeds of Chatterbox, but we've had the argument back and forth on whether or not it's even worth a high-end, young, talented pitcher to pitch in this thing. But quite frankly, we're in a position now where the sentiment of the World Baseball Classic is so high at a player level. Do you think it's just going to be the absolute best players in the world here on moving forward, or do you think there's still going to be this situation where guys are going to sit out?
So I was talking to Fernando Cruz about this. He said, talking about the Puerto Rico-Dominican Republic game, he said one of the biggest games in baseball history. And I never quite thought about it like that, but it is. It is one of the biggest games in baseball history. And as you see, hopefully tonight ends up being a classic. And you see the investment, you see the passion, you see the energy, you see the talent on the big stage, and what it does for a guy like Trey Turner, for example, as he continues to become even a brighter star on this stage. I do think the World Baseball Classic is trending in a very positive direction, and starting pitching will always be the one thing, but especially from a Team USA perspective, you don't need DeGrom and Verlander and Scherzer. You need one from or a couple from a big group of pitchers you have from where they are in their careers, from where they're working on in the spring, from what their timing is. And I do think the pitching staff has, because of the momentum the tournament's created, will be better the next time around.
You got time for a couple more? There's a couple more in here.
Of course. Yeah.
All right. Who's been most impressive in minor league camp?
There's a lot of Tyler Callahan buzz. He's a hitter who hadn't got a chance to hit because of injuries and because of ramp up. I've heard a lot of people talking about him. Carlos George, a young guy who played mostly in rookie ball last year, he just got jacked over the course of the offseason. Everyone's really impressed with the athletic shape he's in, just natural bat to ball skills, great athleticism. Aside from that, as I go to the spreadsheet, I'm going to give you a pitcher. Ryan Nutoff, he's impressed when he's come into the big league games, kind of gives you a different look out of the pen. Finesse, great command, the kind of, funky reliever that could bolster a bullpen like that. We all know Connor Phillips and the buzz he created during camp. I mentioned Jose Acuna, who I really liked. That's a pretty good group. And Jay Allen's one more. Everyone continues to rave about just where he is mentally, athletically, professionally at such a young, advanced age. So more momentum in the Reds farm system.
What's your favorite park, Charlie?
Favorite park? That's a good question. I mean, like the real answer is like Fenway. But
give me real answer is what you like.
I've loved covering games at Petco Park and then at the Blue Jay Stadium. I'm forgetting the name right now. Two unbelievable baseball environments, two invested communities, two stadiums really integrated perfectly into downtown. I think Cincinnati's perfectly integrated into downtown as well. But these are two more examples of a city that baseball is just right in the middle of, and you can feel that energy in the city. Great sight lines, nice concourses, nice seats, nice stands, nice stuff going on around the park. So those would be my two favorites.
How has Cam Collier looked?
Cam dealt with a little bit of a minor injury, but I hear it's just minor. I've seen him take a lot of batting practice. I saw him play in a few games. And what is he now, 18? And he's playing in, I think he was like technically in the low A games going on. And I saw him make some hard contact. And he just has the biggest smile on his face constantly. You won't see too many, if we were ranking all energy, all fun teams and enthusiasm, Cam would rank very, very highly on that list at Reds camp. And everyone loves him. He's a bright presence around the facility and hearing consistently positive things.
All right, Charlie. I mean, we could sit here and do this for hours. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make these folks wait for their questions the next time you come on. Otherwise, I don't want you to feel like you got to sit around and answer questions for every bit of an hour when you come on every single time. I know you're gracious and you're asking for him and you loved him, but I also want to be respectful of your time and very much appreciated. And hopefully you had fun a little bit. The chat's popping off, asking some crazy questions and then also obviously some serious ones. So maybe we'll start digging through some of the serious ones and we'll make sure we have them right at the top of the list the next time you come on.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, Charlie. All right, Nick, we got to figure out, you got a quote from Jim Bowden here or what?
And we're getting right into it. Yeah.
What do we got here?
So this was the quote about Joey Votto. I know you touched on it with Charlie.
Yes, I did.
I'll read it. Nick Kroll told us the plan was for Joey Votto to finish his career as a Red. However, if the Reds are out of it at the trade deadline and Votto came to them and asked for it, they would trade him home to Toronto. He said he would consider under those circumstances. What was your thoughts on this? And then I'll give mine.
I don't. I guess my thought is that I just don't see a scenario where Joey Votto is in a position to yield anything in return that would make it worth the Reds to actually trade him. However, I do think that there's this weird situation that could possibly happen, which is if Joey wanted it. I don't think it's not going to happen unless Joey wants it. And to be clear, that's okay if he does, and it's not like a disrespect thing if he would like to go to Toronto if they're in a playoff hunt and he's playing well enough to actually have a desire to have him. So it's almost like this, not to be pun intended with Betfred being a partner of us, but it's almost this parlay effect of things that have to happen, Nick. And it just seems a little, not unfathomable, that'd be too big of a stretch, but it seems a little unrealistic. I don't want to say I even hope it happens because that would mean two things. It would mean the Reds aren't playing probably relatively well. And secondarily, that means Joey wants to leave. But if it happens, it happens. And we'll obviously, I think most of Cincinnati will root for him. But again, I don't know if, without being disrespectful to one of the best players in Reds history, he's got to be desired. That's my thing. And I mean, maybe he'll have a great year, but the track record has proven your best ability is availability. And until I've been proven that that's a thing again, I'm not so sure that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was just the Jim Bowden trying to have a got you moment or whatever. I don't think there's a whole lot to do about nothing. The interesting thing is Votto's option next year and where that comes into play. Because I guess the first thing that needs to be determined is, does Joey Votto want to play in 2024? Because if he does, then I don't see what the difference is of trading him at the deadline, giving him a chance to win a ring or, be on a contender versus playing out the rest of the season, because he's still not going to, because I think the thing is he wants to retire a Red and spend his whole career. But if he wants to play next year, I don't think it's going to be in Cincinnati. So it almost seems like if he's dead set on playing in 2024, then I would almost think, why wouldn't you want to be traded now? Because it's not going to change that whole thing that you wanted there anyways. I mean, the Reds would definitely have to throw in money on this. I know people aren't going to want to hear that, but the Reds would have to pay part of the salary, and that would be okay if they did. There'd be nothing wrong with that. But I guess it's really going to come down to, how does Joey Votto look in April or May? Because if Votto doesn't perform, then it's a moot point because there's not going to be a trade partner out there.
He's not going to want to play. He's not going to want to play in 2024, in my opinion, if he doesn't play competitive baseball or what I would consider what in his mind average or above average baseball. And I would even say to a crazy extent, I think Joey Votto's expectations as my lights go off in my house here. That's what happens when you have I guess my wife set up a smart house. I'll have to go turn my lights back on. But to finish my point on Joey is I would say that his expectations are probably higher than what I don't want to say league average, but in my mind, if he's not middle of the road or better first baseman from a statistical or analytical perspective, I don't foresee him wanting to do it again.
Yeah, I'm pretty well with you on that. But again, I think there's a lot to do about nothing right now. But it was the hot topic of the week, so we put it on the board.
Nick, start talking to the people in the starting lineup. There is a pretty good question there from Blake earlier. If you want to answer it, I'm going to go turn my lights back on, and hopefully I can turn the lights on the United States of America's lineup that I bragged about.
Yeah, there you go.
We're sitting on one run.
There you go.
One single run.
All right, Blake asked a question about the player to be named later for Will Benson. Who are some potential candidates? Man, that's when I'd have to really do some digging on. I don't think it's going to be anyone of too much significant. The Reds already gave up the guy that was their second round pick from last year. So I like Benson a lot, but I don't think Benson has a ton more value than a second round pick. So I would say it's probably not anyone that most people who follow Reds prospects really know all that well. That would be my guess. But I could be wrong. I was surprised the Reds got Connor Phillips back in the Winker deal. I was surprised it was someone that high up. So I guess time will tell. But my gut would say it's probably not anyone of major significance.
Nick, let's run through the starting lineup here before we you already have it up, thank you. Before we get to the bottom, or I guess it'd be the top of the seventh here with the United States of America. We're going to have to get a rally going in the top of the seventh because I don't know if you know this or not, but the guys that the Japanese have in the back end of their bullpen that they got warming up, they're decent pitchers. They're pretty good. I'm not going to say who they are, but not looking good. Not looking good for the red, white, and blue.
They still got Darvish and Ohtani that could come in, right?
They're warming up, yeah.
Oh, man.
Meanwhile, Reed Mouse in the chat says, we have Jason Adam. No,
Jason Adams he's a good reliever.
See, this is where I got in an actual argument's a strong word. In around the office, listen, we have what I would call spirited debates. We don't really ever get upset at each other. But that's the thing that I was really trying to emphasize with Reed was like, that's the negative part of what happens in the World Baseball Classic is that the guys that you want to be there, they turn it down. So then you get other guys to pitch, and those other guys just get completely shit on. And we can't complain about the guys that they decided to play. They took the ball. I'm not going to complain about them. So I'm all in on whoever we got. I'm not going to complain about them. They're there. They're doing their best. And I'm usually not that way, by the way. I'm usually not that way. This isn't a participation trophy type thing. But for this, it is, in my opinion.
Jason Adam might be the best pitcher on the roster, though. I mean, the guy had a 1.56 ERA last year.
Well, I think he was trying to maybe, to be fair to Reed, he's also comparing them to Yu Darvish and Shohei Ohtani.
I think Jason Adam inning by inning is better than Yu Darvish.
He must have pitched. It looks like he pitched like trash for the Cubs, and that's all it takes.
Okay, well, the Rays fixed him, Reed. The Rays and their magic, they made him into an elite reliever. I wish they had Jason Adams to pitch tonight. Yeah. Jason Adams is going to get rocked. I guarantee it now.
You go to a trash organization like the Chicago Cubs, and bad things happen to you. It's been proven time and time again.
Yeah. It's tale as old as time.
We got guys out here stealing bags. The Japanese play the game. and I don't want to say the right way because that's what comes to mind, but golly day, man, they're fun to watch if we have to be honest with ourselves. Stealing bags, putting the bat 5 feet above their head before the pitch comes. Stuff's interesting. It's fun. All right, Jonathan India leading off, playing second base. Joey Votto in the 2-hole batting, like I said, in the 2-hole playing first base. Will Myers out in right field. Stevenson catching, which 40 games? Is that what he's getting? Is that what was
I think
said?
60.
Okay. 60 games. So one of his 60 is going to be coming on opening day. Fraley's a guy that, most people, I don't say no one's talking about, but he's a guy that just maybe being slept on a little bit. Benson, you got Benson penciled in up there a little bit, but I guess that's just based off the fact that Steer, Friedel, and Barrero are behind him. Yeah.
I literally went through the last 10 lineups and put who was above who, and that's what it came out as. So that's my best guess. But I don't know. I look at that lineup and I don't think it's that bad. I mean, I don't see, and I think I've talked about this before, I don't see a superstar right now in the lineup, but I don't see a lot of holes unless Jose Barrero is the Jose Barrero we've seen up until.
Listen, I will tell you right now, I'm not trying to be negative. There's a lot of question marks in that lineup. That's the only thing. There's not okay, I know what I'm getting. India, I like it or not. I know he's had a good end of his spring, but we're all hopeful, and it's looking good. But that's a little bit of a question mark. Votto's a question mark. How long is he going to be in the lineup for? What's his availability? Is he going to come back and play as well as we all hope he plays? I don't know. Myers is what it is. He's a veteran. Hopefully he plays well enough to where we can get some pieces back at the trade deadline, not to be negative. Stevenson's a dude. I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to stick my neck out there for Stevenson any day of the week. That guy is literally a major league hitter. And I said it before, McLean reminds me of when I see McLean hit, it reminds me of Stevenson when he hits. It's just a professional at bat. It's a tough out. And then on the back end of this lineup, it is like I said before, it's a bunch of question marks. We'll see. That's the good news is I'm going into this season, Nick, with little to no expectations. And I don't that's not to me saying it's a cop out. That's not me saying I'm not excited. I am excited. I'm excited to see what the guys in AAA do, but I'm also excited to see what we have and what we can keep and what we're going to be able to carry with us in the next year. So for the first time in a long time, I don't want to say I don't care. I just want to have some clarity around the All-Star break and certainly on the back end of the season. That's all I'm asking for. And what's your take on Barrero? Because I heard what Charlie said, and yeah, the whole Bell thing where, you want to play multiple positions, so there's some flexibility and all this stuff. Listen, Jose Barrero, and maybe I've not watched enough baseball as much as you have watched to have a really strong opinion on this. But when I watch Jose Barrero play, the first thing that sticks out to me is that this guy plays it, he picks it incredibly well at the shortstop position. That's, in my opinion, right now, the biggest thing that stands out. If anything, it's like, how can we figure out a way to where he can hit his worth and play at the major league level at that position? Am I overstating that? Is he not as good defensively at shortstop as I think he is? Because I get the idea of moving him center field, but I don't love that, if we're being completely honest.
Well, I think it's more about the guys behind him than anything else, and finding ways to keep him in the lineup. If Ellie De La Cruz comes up, he's playing shortstop. You're not moving Ellie De La Cruz to another position like he's your star. I don't know. I look at what the Guardians did with Ahmed Rosario. It's literally the exact same footprint that they did with him. They played him in center field versus left-handed pitching. They played him at shortstop versus right-handed pitching, and it worked out really well for them last year. I like the position flexibility. The thing that maybe has drove me the most nuts about the Reds the last couple of years was back in 2021, back in April and May. The Reds had some really, really bad players on the field because they didn't have position flexibility. They couldn't get Nick Senzel, which didn't turn out to be as good as we hoped Nick Senzel would be. But nonetheless, at that point, we thought Nick Senzel was a dude, and they couldn't get him in the lineup because they didn't have the position flexibility. So I like that a lot. One more point on this lineup, kind of what I was getting at, maybe a better way of phrasing this, where I said I see this lineup, and I don't think it's that bad. There's not a single guy on that lineup that I would be stunned if they put up like a 100 OPS plus. I don't have to like squint and go, oh, wow, I can't believe that guy did that. Now, are they all going to do that? No. But I don't even think any of those guys necessarily have to have like a Brandon Drury season out of nowhere to be decent. And that's what I like about this lineup is that there's a lot of guys with promise here. And if half of them don't pan out, well, there's another guy right there ready to take their spot. There's 3 guys in CES, McLean, and Ellie that I think at this point, at some point during this year, are ready to take any of those spots. So that's what I like about this lineup. Not necessarily that it's a great lineup or that these guys are all going to pan out, but there's all guys that I don't have to squint and go, oh, that guy could be good. I think there's potential with every single one of them.
Bases juice, by the way. Not good. Not ideal. It's not what we're looking for.
Well, I did take that Bedfred boost with the over 10 in the USA win. So, I mean, I guess if we get 2 here from Japan, then if the USA wins, I guaranteed to win, right?
Over 10.
I'm doing my math
10,
right.
10. You have to get over.
It's
10?
over 9 and it's over 9.5.
All right, so you need 7 runs for the United States. That's how this works, Kirby. We don't want these Japanese folks to get any more runs. That's not how this works. This is a big pitch. That's a great pitch.
We locked into Lars Nootbaar versus Jason Adam.
Yeah, that's a great pitch, by the way. You throw a first pitch changeup after walking a guy and spiking one in the dirt.
I jinxed Jason Adam. It's my fault. I'm a bad American. Sorry.
Yeah, we need to lock it in. I'm sorry, chat. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna do here at the bases juiced. 2 down.
It's only the 6th inning. We got plenty of time before we're trying to ride this all the way out. Oh, what count are you on? I'm on 1-2.
Oh no, I'm behind.
Ooh, I'm ahead.
It's not good.
DirecTV for the win. No, 1-2. We're good. Well, we're.
I don't like it. You're
good.
ahead of me. And by the way, you're telling me that we have plenty of time to ride this out. This is the game. Hi, this is the game. I don't know how else to explain it to everyone else here, but this is the baseball game. If they get a hit here, call it a day. It's over. It's over.
So if Lars Nootbaar hits a grand slam, we're not riding this out through the whole 9 innings. Is that what you're saying?
Nope. Call me a quitter. Call me a fraud. Call me a give upper. I don't care what you call me. The game's over if he hits a grand slam. The game's over if he gets a hit. I'm not trying to be. Oh gosh, I don't like being behind you. By the way, that is.
I won't react.
You won't give it away, right? Okay. I know this is riveting content right now for the chat and for those that are watching. I can't tell what that even in reaction is.
You go. See, I'm on it.
I know I'm getting a result right here.
I had a Cardinals fan on Twitter last night when I just sent a joking tweet about how the Cardinals let down his country. Now I'm gonna.
Deuces are wild, folks. My gosh, what a pitch. That's my main concern if the Reds ever make the World Series is that I don't know if I could actually physically handle it. I don't know if I could actually physically handle the pressure moments that would be like this. Oh,
that would be
nauseous. What a terrible, 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 lazy fly out.
See, I didn't even give it away.
I'm that far behind you. You need to pause your stuff, man.
That's a lot of work. All right, but we're alive. We're alive.
Yeah. So back to I don't even know where we were at. There was a question in the chat. One guy, building block. I don't know, Fraley. That's my building block. If you're not going to let me pick a prospect,
I would say Steer.
All right. Here's the thing. There's so many infielders though, and I know you're going to tell me they can go play outfield, but don't know. You're telling me, not to get in a debate with you, you're telling me that Ellie De La Cruz is penciled in and plays shortstop no matter what. Let's say Jose Barrero goes out here and he's got an OPS of 97, and he's the best. He's arguably one of the best defensive shortstops in the entire league. He's not getting moved, man. He's not getting moved.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I would argue right now he's the best defensive shortstop of the two.
But my counter, again, I'm with you. If Barrero takes shortstop by the reins and hits, yeah, he should keep it, and you move Ellie to third base or whatever. That's fine. I don't see that happening. So that's where my line of thinking was. So if it doesn't happen, though, I don't think you want to have Ellie moving around the diamond. I think you want to stick him in one spot. And I know that goes kind of counter to my I like playing guys everywhere, but this is Ellie De La Cruz, this is the dude. I don't know. That's kind of where
I guess we're pandering to certain guys. I don't know if I like that.
I'm pandering to Ellie. Yeah. Take my money, Ellie.
Yeah, you want him to play his natural position, Reed. I've said that from time to time. Of course I have. But if you're going to draft nothing but shortstops and you got 6 of them in the farm system, they all can't play shortstop. So somebody has to move. And I'm just saying that if I have an elite level defender, if I have a guy, and I'm going to be a little facetious here, but to prove my point, if I got a guy that is as good of a defensive shortstop that there is in the entire Major League Baseball, and let's just say that he wins Gold Gloves there, you cannot move him. He's not moving. And the only question mark, in my opinion, is that can he hit to where he can stick in the big leagues? So it's almost like we're moving him to center field in hopes that, yeah, maybe he can hit a little bit. But again, I don't. If I'm Jose Barrero, I am deeply concerned that they're moving me positions already, and I know that my time is coming not to an end, but I'd be relatively concerned about it. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think that Jose Barrero playing center field is just more to keep him in the big leagues than like an indictment of his future success. Back to Ellie, though. I would play devil's advocate on here. Let's just say that all the other dudes don't pan out, and Ellie's the only one that does. Well, Ellie, you put him at shortstop, it's a lot easier to fill your third baseman and your second, and your first baseman or whatever. So I think that's why you want Ellie at shortstop, just because he's the guy you're most confident in is going to be a successful big leaguer out of everyone. Because if the other guys don't pan out, well, you can go get a third baseman on the free agent market. You can't really go get a shortstop on the free agent market. The Reds are never going to get a great shortstop on the free agent market. It's not going to happen.
Well,
that's why they have 16,000 of them.
Bryce reminds me of the dumbest shit that that I did see last year, which is Jose Barrero out here deciding they're going to try to play him in a different position because Kyle Farmer was playing shortstop. And I'm not going to diss on Kyle Farmer. I like Kyle Farmer; he's a good player and all. But that's the stuff that you want to talk about lighting a fire underneath me. If we get into this season and we come on Chatterbox Reds after a game and we got one of these prospects that we need to figure something out on, and we got a guy like Kevin Newman. We got Kevin Newman playing shortstop like this on a left-handed pitcher. I don't know what to do, guys. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying this is the dumbest you-know-what that there can be. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't even make logical sense, man. All right. I'm done with it. But we got a leadoff runner on, and I'm behind everybody, which is great. I'm glad. It's always fun to be the last in the know. That's my point. I don't want to spend too much time on the whole Jose Barrero thing because at the end of the day, it's got to pan itself out. I'll come up with an analogy for the next show, but it almost feels like we're deciding to take the one thing that maybe is the best attribute that he has, and we're just going to take it away and move him somewhere else. So,
yeah, I would just say I don't think it's like moving him permanently. I think it's just to give him more chances to get on the roster or more chances to play than anything else. But I don't know. I guess you have to know these guys. You have to know, what makes them tick, how they'll respond to different things. I don't know. I've seen other teams in baseball do this type of thing, just like the Guardians did last year with Med Rosario, and it worked out flawlessly for them. It made Med Rosario a better player. It created their overall value, and we're able to get them different guys in. And oh boy, here we go.
Are you telling me that I should get excited in a second?
You should get mildly excited.
Did you just see that base hit?
I just saw the base. Okay, we're pretty close.
All right.
All right. You know what?
So here's the thing. No, it's fine.
My remote's too far back.
Don't worry about pausing it.
I'm gonna unplug and mess everything
I want to
up.
know what the chat thinks, because here's and again, I'm not suggesting that this take is the best take, but I do think it's something that I'm growing a little more tired of. And I'm not suggesting that I hate what you're doing here, Nick, but I am so tired of the automatic platooning. I'm so tired of young guys coming up like a Will Benson, and we're just going to assume, I get it. Maybe he has some minor league. Maybe he's had like 2 years where he struggled with left-handed pitching. But we just cast these guys off so damn fast that they can't be everyday players and they can't hit quote-unquote left-handed pitching if they're a left-handed hitter, because we don't give them enough time to try to figure it out. And the longer and longer we take game reps from them, the more and more opportunity that they are going to struggle when they finally get a chance to go up against left-handed pitching. And I'm not suggesting that platooning every so often wouldn't make sense, but I get tired of assuming that guys can't hit left-handed pitching because half a year they struggle a little bit. I mean, Will Benson, for all intents and purposes, should be getting reps over Newman. I don't care if Randy Johnson's pitching.
I think there's very few. I think you have to be an elite left-handed batter to take a spot in the lineup against a left-handed pitcher. I just don't think there's very many. Especially, I think you have to be like a Freddie Freeman or a Joey Votto or someone like that. I think there's too many. I think Jesse Winker never should have hit against left-handed pitching. I think the Reds in 2021 letting him take all those at-bats and OPS around 500 against left-handed pitching hurt the team. I mean, he was terrible against left-handed pitching. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I see what you're saying, and I see where, it could limit some guys, but I also think you give a lot of guys more chances there, and it limits your ability to create a lineup out of limited resources that can compete.
All right.
But the best point was from
Kevin
Michael
Newman.
Weinstein. None of this matters if Barrero doesn't hit. Like he hit it right on the nail. None of it matters if he doesn't hit.
Kevin Newman. Where are we at on him?
He's fine. The reason the Reds have Kevin Newman on this roster was so they weren't forced to play Jose Barrero. And Jose Barrero's been decent in spring training enough to, I think, put him on the open day roster. But I don't think they wanted to be forced to put someone on the opening day roster that they didn't want. And I think the Reds really, with their young pitching, value having decent infield defense. And so I think that's why Kevin Newman is on this roster. And Matt Foster said Newman's a whole piece and trade bait if he hits well. Yeah, I think that probably is. I think he's just kind of a guy on here. I think you hope that Matt McClain or Ellie pick it up and you can bring them up to the big leagues at some point and then he becomes expendable. But I think right now he's just more of insurance so they can have decent defense behind all these young pitchers, because you don't want guys that can't catch the ball behind Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo and Graham Ashcraft.
Guys.
You want to have at least decent defense.
Kevin Newman. 247. 350. 280. 265, 316. No, those obviously aren't his batting average. That's his OBP. His OPS plus has been 53, 55, 33 outside of one great year, and then last year he's all right. I'm just saying.
90.
You're not going to convince me that Kevin Newman is going to be a trade piece and we're going to get something back for him. that's even of relative value. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you all laugh in my face. But I am not going to sit here and give this 30-year-old guy an opportunity, 29 to be fair to him. He's just not going to take reps away from guys that I'm trying to figure out what I have, what I don't have. I'm not going to assume that Will Benson can't hit left-handed pitching until he proves to me over a long period of time, long enough for me to know that he can't hit left-handed pitching, and or anyone else for that matter. I mean, maybe again, I'm not suggesting that. That's my opinion, but we'll see.
I mean, you also have off days too and stuff. So I mean, we'll have to see how David Bell really plays these lineups, but yeah, I don't have a problem with Newman being on the roster. I think it's just to have decent defense. I think that's more. Now, if he's playing 5 times a week, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have a problem with Newman on the roster.
Who's a better defensive player, Kevin Newman or Jose Barrero?
I would say Kevin Newman's probably a safer defensive player, but I think Barrero has a lot higher upside.
So it's close.
But again, yeah, I think it's close. But if he's playing 5 times a week, yeah, I have a problem with it. If he's playing once or twice and he's just insurance, I don't have an issue with it.
If he's playing it Sundays at 1:00, I won't complain a whole lot.
He feels like a Sunday special.
All right. I'll trust you on that. I'm gonna try to be.
We didn't get any runs in that inning?
I don't really have a whole lot against him, and I'm not trying to be a hater, but I want to see these guys. I want to be proven that they can't play. I want Jose Barrero to play so long this year that I know for a fact he can't play. I know for a fact he can't play. And even guys that get chances that play for a while, sometimes it just doesn't pan out. I mean, we've seen it. Encarnacion was a little bit that way a long time ago for the Reds, right? It's like he struggled, but you're like, you know what? There's bright spot there, and then I'd say he did all right.
Pretty good. He had 50 home runs one year.
Yeah, I'd say he was a pretty decent player. All right.
Okay.
Starting rotation. Before you put it up.
Well,
You put it up.
late.
Where's Williams? Where's Williamson? Oh. Okay. Well,
I don't think Williamson makes it. I think they're going to start him in AAA. I think his command hasn't been good enough. I think they're going to want him to prove it. I think Charlie said Sessa and Overton. I think that's it. I think it'll be Overton or Chase Anderson until Weaver is healthy, and then he'll get in there. But I don't think it doesn't sound like if Weaver hasn't pitched in like a week, I don't see how he's ready for, the first or second series of the year. So, yeah, I would say I feel really confident the top 4. Well, they've already announced the top 3, so I definitely feel confident with that.
Right.
But I definitely think Sessa's going to be in there, and then I think it's Overton. If it's not, I think it's Chase Anderson.
I would be shocked if Sessa's not there, largely based off the fact that I don't think he leaves.
Yeah,
I don't think he leaves the World Baseball Classic unless he's feeling pretty damn good about where he's at. And again, this is going to sound really pessimistic. I don't know how much stock or care I really put into that 5th spot. I just kind of we'll see how it goes. Give people their opportunities. If they throw well, then they get to keep playing, and they keep throwing. If they don't throw well, let's slide in the next guy and see how they do. We've talked about this at length. I don't want to keep beating down the same topic of conversation, but it really comes down to the top 3 guys, and then what else can we piece together on the back end of that might be exciting moving into the next season. To play ridiculous optimism.
my favorite game.
Is there any chance? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, is there any chance we can get ourselves to the All-Star break and feel like we have at least 2 or 3 more weeks of meaningful baseball? I don't know. Because the way that those guys at the top are throwing, if they throw well, there's a small chance. I'm not suggesting that it's going to happen, but maybe I'm being a little too over-optimistic about the whole thing. However, I mean, Nick Lodolo, I'm just saying.
These guys have looked spectacular in camp. I tweeted out earlier today the combination of Lodolo, Green, and Ashcraft, 38.2 innings, 46 strikeouts, 11 walks. I mean, these are all young guys. I think if they stay healthy, I mean, I think that in itself is going to keep the Reds somewhat competitive. I think you just hope that the 4th and 5th spots aren't big, giant holes, and they just can be slightly below average. I think if you get a healthy Green, Lodolo, Ashcraft, you have 4 and 5 not be guys getting their brains beat in every other night. I think you take that, and I think that this team can be competitive. I think Michael said it best here. I don't care if Williamson starts in AAA. I just hope he gets 20 starts in the majors this year. I feel the exact same way.
No way.
I like that line of thinking a lot.
Sorry. I thought we got Ohtani there. Maybe I'm wrong. That dude's fast as shit, man. Holy smokes. He's out, right? I mean, live, I thought he was out. I mean, I hate to say
I gotta
that
turn my whole head to see this. I gotta get a better setup here.
I hate to say that I got elite level eyes is what I think, guys. Don't know if you've seen that, but that's hitting the mitt. He's out. He's out. He's out. You know why he's out? Because you got to beat the throw. And the only way that he beat that throw, well, he didn't beat the throw. At best case in that argument right now, if you're watching the World Baseball Classic, which you should be, is that that's a quote-unquote tie, which I don't believe in ties. But if you want to call that a tie, he's out. He's out. He's out. Adam, he's out.
Jason Adam came to pitch. You better believe it.
He's out, Adam. Watch it. We'll see if the replay center knows what they're doing, but he's out.
All right.
I don't know. We'll find out. Too close to call? What do you mean too close to call? That too close to call, Adam, means it was a tie. And a tie means he's out, if you know the rule book. All right. Let's go to the bullpen. You want to talk about the bullpen? Bullpen's going to be fun.
Yeah, I got to finish my graphic here. These are who I think for sure will be in the bullpen. I think you got Alexis Diaz, River San Martin, Buck Farmer, Ian Jabot, Fernando Cruz, and Alex Young. I don't know if Sims is going to be ready yet or not. I hope he is, but he hasn't pitched in a...
Protest the game. It's rigged.
Yeah,
he's out,
rigged
man.
for money.
He's out. He's out.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys in the bullpen that I do like. Very unproven, that's for sure. But I obviously everyone likes Alexis Diaz, but San Martin, Farmer, Jabot, Cruz, and Young all had solid ends to last season, and then have most of them look pretty good in camp so far. So I'm hoping that this bullpen can be overall fairly competitive, and then obviously if you're able to get Sims and Antone, then I think you really could turn this into an actual advantage for the Reds. But right now I think it's decent, got some potential, nothing spectacular.
Adam,
is that kind of where you're at?
Adam, I hope you're not ahead of me. And if that's just like a forecast, I need you to
I haven't seen anything yet, so he must be in the stadium.
Adam, if he hits a 2-run homer. All right, he didn't. He's just forecasting that. Adam, I need you to do me a favor. You don't seem like you're from Japan based off your name. All right, just a feel. You know what I feel? I feel a double play coming because they always say the ball don't lie, which it does lie sometimes. But I'm going to forecast the ball is not going to lie on this one, and we're going to get a double play because he was out the first time. Watch. Let's all watch it together. All right, foul ball. What percentage of houses do you think you're watching this in Japan? Someone told me a ridiculous stat the other day that doesn't seem accurate, that 90-some-odd% of the homes in Japan, or like the TVs in Japan were on the World Baseball Classic for their game against Mexico?
Well, since
That
I did some
seems
elite
unrealistic.
research,
Please,
it's
let's hear it.
11:04 right now in Japan, because that obviously matters. So it actually was a pretty decent time for them and us. What the game started at 8 a.m. right? No, 7 a.m. This game's been going on 3 hours and it's only in the bottom of the 7th. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is where the pitch clock people come in and they have their pitchforks.
No, this is where I come with the pitch clock and say, thank God. Like, I don't.
No, I'm
This
saying
is-
like the pitch clock people are out with their pitchforks ready to like tell everybody that this is why.
Oh
you
yeah,
need it.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm that guy right
yeah,
now.
you're that guy. Yeah, you're out and
I
about.
am that guy.
I'm with you though.
strutting around.
It is something. We're in the 7th inning right now, and this game's
Uh oh.
3 hours in. Ball don't lie, Adam. The ball don't lie. He's out the first time, and he's out the second time. That's
Rebounds
why.
left, but
Yeah, that guy
how
from the
about-
Cubs sucks.
actually he was out of the game.
No,
But he did strike out 3. No, struck out 2.
That's called karma in baseball, right there. He's out the first time. That was
There we
ridiculous.
go.
I can't believe this is where we're at. We got 1 run. If you'd have told me before the game that we were going to lose, I would have said, okay, we're going to lose 7-5, maybe 8 to maybe like
The
something
pitching
like that.
just gets annihilated, right?
Yeah. I mean, 3 runs is it's a solid outing. We're sitting at 1 run right now. We need
The over-under
Eagles
was
to come
10.
alive. Yeah.
The U.S. over under was 5.5.
Well, that means that maybe, just maybe, 6-3. We're right back on track. Just saying. All right. Any questions that you guys have in the chat? We got a decent amount of you still in here. We can have fun talking. Otherwise, we'll just hang out and watch the last 6 outs, I guess. If it goes to extra innings, I'm going to be honest. I'm probably going to tell everybody we'll talk about it the next time.
Well, I need over 10, so maybe extra innings is good. Is there there's the runner on the ghost runner rule in the World Baseball Classic, right?
No idea. Couldn't
Did I-
tell you.
Did
Somebody
I
in the
make that
chat,
up?
let us know if you know. Did you see what the Indians did for their tickets? Standing room
Yeah,
only tickets. What's the overall thought on that? I mean, decent idea. I don't hate it.
Well, they do a really great job of attracting casual fans that want to come hang out at the ballpark. Not sure if you've been to their stadium recently. I obviously live in Cleveland. Been a lot. But they have like a 2-decker bar in right field. And then on below that and on each side, on left field and right field, they have standing room only with like bar style, just standing room.
Yeah.
And that's like the most happening place of the ballpark. The seats are often empty because everyone's hanging out there, just chilling, watching the game. I'm assuming they make up a lot of that money that they on those cheaper tickets in beer sales, because everyone has 2 beers in their hand.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's they have for a team that doesn't draw super well and has a lot of challenges because it's so stinking cold in April and September up here.
Yeah.
They do a really, really good job of attracting those the younger fans that just want to come and hang out and have a good time. I think the Reds have done some good things. GABP is just not as designed for something like that as Progressive Field. I think that's what it's still called. But they have a really good structure to do that. Just the way the stadium's set up. Whereas Great American doesn't have they have the river behind them, so they can't really build. There's a road right behind there, there's not really much they can do about that. But yeah, they do a really good job with that.
I love Michael's comment. He said the Guardians are good at drawing less than 20,000 to watch a good team. That's one thing I am hopeful for. Maybe I'll be wrong, but when the Reds are competitive here in the near future, with the optimistic mindset here. I would like to see our attendance grow a little bit more than it was back in the day, which I'm not saying it was horrible, but see what we got here.
The Guardians, they did draw decently, like on the weekends and stuff. People just have to remember, man, it is cold there in April and in September. It's not fun to go watch a lot of baseball games at certain times of the year there. I don't know. I'm sure that has something to do with it.
We need base runners. Damn, man.
Yeah, this is ugly. I'm gonna get cleaned up here if we don't have a comeback. Whew.
It was what, $50 a month for standing room only?
I think it was only like 45.
That was like 49.
My wife just texted me. I guess she's watching. She said, "You're a wuss about the cold." So, guess it's just me.
Could be. $45 a month. That's going to get you into roughly how many games? Probably like roughly 13 to, I don't know. How many?
So, I don't know. What's 81 divided by 6? That's your number.
Well, I'm thinking there's 30 days in a month, and let's just say
I'm
it's a
just
full
talking
slate.
average. So it's 13 and a half games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty. I wonder if you can resell them. I'm assuming not. I'm assuming you have to like use your driver's license or something.
No.
There's got to be some sort of catch to that.
Yeah. Not to give them too much of free advertising or shout out, but, it wouldn't shock me the slightest if we get to a position where we start to do ticketing like the Disney does their ticketing. That's foul. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about, so Disney has like the whole fingerprint thing. And I think we might get to a position in life where you see like Zach Bryan and people complaining about ticket reselling and all that. Maybe I'm being like too crazy thought process. This is that I think there could be organizations that decide they do not want to do ticket resales. They'll take refunds, like especially like high demand tickets. They'll take a refund, like you can sell your ticket back to them, but then they just resell it out. And I think that all of the entrances to all of major events will get to where you just have to have your phone, you scan your phone like RFID, and then you fingerprint in. So they make sure that you are the person that bought the ticket.
You have to get fingerprinted at Disney?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
And I know I do know there's Big Brother. I do know people are like, oh, Big Brother, this, that, and the other, but yeah, I don't know. I've given up on the whole Big Brother thing, to be frank, because it's just like, if the government wants to do something at this point, I got news for you. They have enough information to probably do whatever they want to do.
We're screwed either way. There's no going back.
I feel like maybe I'm one of those helpless people where I've given up on it. Tell you what, Schwarber's starting to put the bat on the ball, though. I don't want to like forecast this, but how wild would it be if the greatest player that ever played baseball came in the ninth inning and blew it? Just saying. Just a thought. Wasn't that bat by Schwarber, though? He's battling. Did you know he's from Middletown?
I thought he was from Hamilton.
Nope.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
There is no ghost runner in extra innings.
Oh, great.
If people were, since no one in the chat came through for me, I had to look at it myself. Uh-oh.
Man, you're ahead of me. You're ahead of me by like 7 seconds. Oh, my God. What'd I tell you? I didn't say he's going to hit a homer, but I said he's having it at bat. He's starting to put the batter on the ball, boys.
Well, Otani's coming in now. Otani's definitely coming in now, right?
I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like pause and play. You got to have the ability to have like genuine reactions here. You can't be holding
All
that
right,
in.
hold on.
You can't be holding that in, Nick. I
I'm
don't know
turning
how.
myself
I
off
don't.
for a
I don't
second.
know how you watch that. Oh, turn yourself off. We're allowed to watch you walk away.
Don't just see my butt.
Oh God. Chat. Can you believe that Nick's worried about us looking at his butt when he turned around and walked away? How ridiculous.
You'll really get the pride of Middletown if you would have kept that camera on. All right, I'm on 0-1. You tell me when you're
Pride
getting
of
close to.
Middletown.
All right, are you close to seeing the?
I'll tell you what I see. I see the come set, the wind, and the pitch, and the mitt.
Okay, I think I'm just slightly ahead of you now.
Okay. Now I see
I'll do one more quick pause and play and see if we can get it.
I got the replay of the homer just landing in the stands.
Yeah.
Now
You got the salute?
Yep.
Okay, we're real close now. We're rolling.
Schwarber's picture.
Yeah.
And
We're
back
good.
to the pitcher. And
Set the pitch.
Contact.
Foul away.
All
Okay,
right, we're there.
We're close enough.
All right, guys.
Adam, hopefully we're close to you too now, brother.
Kyle Schwarber has been in so many like major moments.
I'm turning now.
Yeah, you do what you need to do. Kyle Schwarber.
This is my best angle anyways, so.
Good at bat.
Get down.
That's just a good hitting.
All right, we're back.
What was that tryhard doing in center field right there? Did you see that?
No, I was updating the score bug for the people at home. I didn't even get to see it. I saw ball land, went right to the base because I'm a man of the people. All right. Can the bottom of the order come through for the United States? Who we got up? Real Muto?
Should steal second. Let's tell you, stealing second. I don't know, man. Actually, what kind of set the home time does Darvish have?
It's above my pay grade.
We're about to find out. We're gonna watch the first pitch. I'll tell you what, trying to steal second right here that's a lot of marbles. You got to have some pretty big kahunas to be doing that.
And I don't think they got the big bases either.
No, they don't.
They got those small chump bases.
They got the baby bases. Oh. No.
Shit. That is not America's catcher. America's catcher, Tyler Stevenson, would not have popped up there. Garbage.
Oh, man. Thoughts about possibly trading Diaz to the Mets? Yeah, Reese, we talked about that earlier with Charlie, actually, and he had said that really wasn't a thing.
Is it Tim Anderson now?
No, it's
Cedric
Mullins.
This is a good matchup. Left on right.
Right.
Come on, Cedric.
We got to steal the bag now. I'm stealing bags.
Pretty good pop.
I'm stealing the bag, dude. Take it. Look at that. Go. No.
Oh.
Dude, you got to let him try to steal, man. We got the top of the lineup coming up. In the ninth against the best. I don't. This could happen. Is Mike Trout hit second? I think he does, right? I think it's Mookie Betts coming up, and then Trout comes up second. We're gonna see Mike Trout hit a walk-off off Shohei Ohtani to win the World Baseball Classic. And guess what's gonna happen all over Twitter? There's gonna
the U.S. is the road team.
Damn!
Not that to burst your bubble.
Just broke my heart.
Sorry.
I was waiting for Twitter conspiracy theories to come through like left and right. Like, oh, look at the script.
The U.S. is the road team in Miami. Well, hey. At least it's
You're on opposite
they gotta
sides
hold
with
him here.
Alex Wallace. Alex Wallace wants the under.
No, he wants under 10.5.
Oh yeah, you just
Let's
need
get-
under
let's
9.5. You need 10
yep.
runs.
Let's get to 10. Let's all be happy. All right. Devin Williams. Where's Japan at in their lineup? Okay, they're at they're past Otani.
We are just spoiler alert for those that are big time Chatterbox Reds fans. We appreciate you hanging out with us here late at night. We're going to announce it officially probably next Monday. But we are going to be down at Moorline Lager House. This is a little bit of breaking news to Kirby, slightly, but we're going to be down at Moorline Lager House on opening day. We're going to do our typical off the bench show from 10 to noon.
At Moorline.
At Moorline. Tom is actually not in town. He's out of town, so it's going to be me and Nick. At Moorline, 10 to noon. On opening day. And why we have everyone here, might as well. The plan is at this moment, I highly doubt the plan changes. We are going to do something the night before opening day as well, similar to maybe not this late, but something towards the evening to kind of really blow it out and get as many people interview wise as we can. And talk about the Reds.
Yeah. I'm coming down next Wednesday afternoon. Excited.
That's what, 71 for you to
I'm east of Cleveland, so I go 90 to 271 to 71 all the way down to Cincinnati. A riveting drive. Michael, I don't know if I'll go to Pittsburgh in April or not. I always like to try to make it out there. So I'm only like 2.5 hours from Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yeah. I've gone to Pittsburgh almost every year.
Pittsburgh
since I moved up here in 2013.
I haven't been to Pittsburgh Stadium. And
you
obviously,
haven't?
No, and obviously many say it's like the best in Major League Baseball. What a good pitch.
We got to make it happen this year, Trace. We got to make it happen.
All right.
It's seriously, it is spectacular. I'm not just saying that.
They got a good team. They got a good team in Pittsburgh.
I think I've been to 12 stadiums. I would rank it second.
Ooh, what's number one?
Just Fenway by a mile. I mean, Fenway's just the whole atmosphere in Boston's just it makes baseball feel like I don't know, like maybe a big college football atmosphere, something like that. Which on a Wednesday night in August, like it's insane. But it was cool. I went last year to Fenway, and there was a lot of Reds fans there.
I'm sorry. What did you say one was again?
Fenway. Fenway's number one.
Yeah.
PNC's number two.
I haven't been to Fenway either, believe it or not. I haven't been to a lot of the East Coast. I actually went to Washington last year. A lot of the times I go to ballparks, it's because I've been close there because of business. Besides Tropicana, that place is a dump. I went there when I was on vacation once. That place is so bad. I genuinely can't even believe that place holds a Major League Baseball team. Like it's unbelievably bad. Wrigley, I've been to Wrigley and it's okay. I actually think Wrigley's it's got its like nuances. That's my question to you would be is Fenway significantly better than Wrigley? Or is it?
So I can't give you a fair analysis of Wrigley because I went before any of the renovations. I haven't been since they renovated anything. So it really was still just an old ballpark that was kind of a dump. But I've heard it's kind of like Fenway where it's an old ballpark, but it has like the amenities and it's nice and it's clean. When I went to Wrigley, it was a dump, but it was still cool just because it's Wrigley Field.
Old, yeah.
So it was so far below Fenway, but I don't know if I went back, this year, if it would, be different in my mind.
Yeah.
Detroit, I thought was a dump.
We'll definitely, M. Foster asked about, we're going to definitely do a Chatterbox night at GABP with a bunch of, all across Chatterbox. We got, whether it's off the bench or this show, we got people that have been clamoring for that already. So we'll definitely do that. Strip mall is strong. The battery is cool. Strip mall is strong. The batteries go. Okay. What about
Hard part for us.
Go ahead.
I was saying the hard part for us is going to games and doing post game shows. They got a lot of
Right.
logistics that go into that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's going to be difficult trying to do this show every night after a game when we go to them. Not going to be the easiest thing to do.
I'm trying to go on Saturday, Trace. So we might have to
one
do the show a
regret
little later.
one regret I had was last year I was in Washington and I went to a Nationals game, but then I could have gone to a Baltimore game the next day, and I just got tired and I got lazy, and I was like, man, it's a 45-minute drive. I can't do it. I didn't muster it up, and I regret not doing that because it's like, I don't know, the next time I'm going to be close to Boston. I was actually Coors. You said Coors is awesome. I was out in Denver this past winter or 2 winters ago, and I didn't get the chance to watch a game there, but I got to kind of go in their team shop and kind of peek through the windows. But isn't it kind of wild, the stadium tour thing? Some people do like stadium tours every day, and then some stadiums are like 2 times a month. You got to sign up in advance, and it's like, damn. I mean, I guess if I was a planner, I would have had it figured out. But
Me and my dad, we got a Fenway tour same day. Just went online,
yeah,
got the ticket. That is definitely a stadium you got to do the tour if you go. Some of the tours are kind of, I did the tour at Camden. It was good, but it wasn't like Fenway. I didn't feel like I needed the tour. Like it was fine. Like it wasn't a bad experience or anything. But I love the stadium, but I felt like the tour was just walking around the stadium and seeing like one extra thing. Like, it wasn't really all that great. I do want to go to Coors though. I love Denver.
yeah,
All right, here we go.
yeah. We need an out. Well,
Bryce, hey, did you see Bryce got to play at Coors?
yeah,
In at Busch Stadium?
yeah, big time, Bryce.
Bryce has been so good on the podcast. I love having him on.
Ball's foul.
That guy, he catches a lot when he watches a Reds game. A spring training Reds game too, which is even more impressive.
It is.
Oh,
Ohtani.
Ohtani's
gonna
warming
do it.
up.
He's gonna blow it. He's gonna blow it. Oh, he's gonna blow it. Man,
This is pretty cool. I gotta
this-
be honest. I love baseball. Obviously, I've kind of been like I've enjoyed the World Baseball Classic, but I haven't like been able to match like other people's hype. Like I'm trying to, but it's during March Madness. This is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, Williams just wants to keep us sitting around longer. That's all. No big deal. Game's not long enough. Let's just make it a little bit longer. Do I think Ohtani pitches inside Trout? I think he'll pitch to Trout however which way he thinks he can get him out. I don't.
When did Ohtani pitch last? It was a couple days ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. He said he might be available depending on how his body feels, is what he had been saying all along. And clearly that meant if we have a chance to win the game, I'm going to come in for an inning and pitch. I don't know how many days ago it was, but it's a good pitch.
He didn't pitch in the Mexico game, right?
No.
No, it's been a while.
Yeah. They got to try to steal this bag, right? There he goes.
Yeah, you're playing with house money. He's out.
Got him.
Oh.
Ball was just a little bit on the wrong side of the bag. It's a tough pitch to take, too. Like, as far as throw it down, man, that's just not the ideal pitch to be trying to throw a guy out on.
Otani hasn't pitched since the 16th.
I mean, he picked that
17th.
ball. He picked that
He-
ball.
he-
Dude, that's an incredible
Otani's on normal
play.
rest today.
He's
Otani's
safe.
on normal rest. Why is he not coming until the 9th?
It's called being having the possibility.
Angels.
It's called having the possibility of getting the biggest contract in sports history. And you ain't.
It might add a little bit.
Yeah, that's my guess. That's such a good throw. It's a good tag too by Trey. I don't know, man. Where are we at in the lineup, guys? You gotta.
This is the 8-hole.
You gotta be careful. Yeah, you gotta be careful here. These guys, every single one of them look like they're just gonna smack a ball into left center field. Yeah.
Or smack a ball right into the dirt 2 feet in front of the plate.
Not trying to be like make myself look like an idiot right here, but this is Shogo Akiyama territory, right?
I would hope so. Shogo.
I don't have anything against Shogo. I don't know if he ever really
No,
got a fair chance.
Yeah, I mean he got a tough card with coming in 2020, but man, I've never seen a dude hit more balls right into the dirt in front of the plate. His like launch angle was like 6. Like it was like as low as you could possibly have.
Oh, we need this out. I know Williams knows that, but I'm just telling him again, we need this out, Williams. Good pitch.
Don't screw it up, Arenado. There you go.
Dude, what is
That
Paul
dude was
Goldschmidt
fast.
doing over here, bro? He's getting handcuffed
All
on
right.
a ball. What is he doing, man? These Cardinals, dude.
Hoo-wee.
McNeil. He said, oh, no. Paul is way ahead. Paul Fritchner's coming in the chat.
Paul graces us with his presence.
With this cable television, Paul. Okay, Paul, just do us a favor and wait about 25 seconds before you let the rest of us know what actually happens, because you're one of the. Actually,
Hey.
That's not true. That's not true. Nick Kirby has DirecTV. He's got cable. I made him pause it like 5 different times so I can be on the same page.
Paul, you should do the same. You're a guy that's a man of the
Landline
people
Paul.
too.
Landline Paul. You know what's beautiful about that is that landline.
Paul.
My man Paul went 100%. 100%. This is a fact. I'm not even making this up. This isn't a joke. He has a landline at his house. He gets the newspaper every day, and he has cable television. That's the trifecta. That is the old man parlay.
Somehow this doesn't surprise me, and it's just incredible. I love it.
I'd really like to do a dunk to end this stream, and then probably get in trouble from my wife, wake my kids up.
I bought a fan that I put right outside the kids' windows, or outside their bedrooms, for late night podcasting to hopefully keep the sound down.
Yeah,
Got one of those big loud fans.
There's no doubt that Paul has a Blu-ray player sitting out somewhere.
I think Alex. I think it's DVD player. I think Blu-ray is a little too current.
Too high end.
Yeah, he's got the component cables hooked up.
Yeah.
He's rocking and rolling.
What is it? What colors is that? Red, yellow, and white?
Paul's got a HD TV in 480p.
Is it really? Is it red, yellow, and white? What color is the? What
Yeah,
colors
yeah,
are the
yeah. Red,
components?
yeah, red, yellow, white.
And it would always
Never
be
went
like
for Blu-ray.
it would always be like one of them doesn't even need to be plugged in for it to work.
The sound. Yeah, you can.
It's like
you
the
can get by with
red's
that
the
one.
audio or something.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Okay, this is pretty good. I mean, this is
Still has VHS. That's impressive. I remember when McDonald's, you want to talk about just American beautiful culture that we lived in. I remember going to McDonald's when I was a kid, and instead of getting a Happy Meal, you got a VHS of the Field of Dreams. That's getting it done, man. Just saying. I still remember that to this
Your
day.
kids still Happy Meal goers?
The younger ones are, yeah. Tell you what,
Dude, they had some
the older ones.
garbage toys. They're giving these kids like little books and stuff. Like
Oh, that's because
it's pathetic.
That's because we've gotten into the whole, we gotta. I'm not gonna get into.
No,
it.
it's cheap. It's not even like trying to be.
Oh, it's trying to be like we need to be better with our kids and give them stuff that's gonna make them smarter. So let's give them books when they go to McDonald's instead of a toy. Don't.
Yeah, like stuff that they're giving them stuff that has like instructions. Like it's nuts. Just give the kid a Mario toy. Let's let the kids live. You don't go to McDonald's because you're trying to be a good parent. Like
Yeah, exactly.
come
Trying
on,
to
give
be
my kid a
trying to
toy.
be lazy. Trying to be lazy and fast.
Or survive in advance. Also,
Well, that's lazy and fast, isn't it?
yeah. I don't know.
Otani, what are we doing here, buddy? Let's go.
Oh,
Doctoring up
is this pinch hitter?
Oh yeah.
Or no?
Jeff McNeil, first play
He
appearance
didn't
was a
start.
walk.
He
He
come
came
into the game.
in.
I don't think he was in the lineup.
I don't know. I didn't watch the very first inning. Well, I guess he wouldn't have hit in the first inning more than likely, anyways.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was not. I'm pulling up the box score. Yeah, he came in for Anderson. All right.
We just need a base runner. Start with a base runner, boys. Let's go.
He came ready to swing.
Well, that's being ready to hit, dude. That's being ready to hit. Is it asking for a lot just to get a run here? See, I feel like that's begging.
I'd like 3 to be honest. 4. There you go. 101.
My brother just texted me. He doesn't feel good about this. You think? This guy's throwing 101 miles an hour. He's arguably the best baseball player that's ever played the game of baseball. And he's about to blow this. He's about to blow this. They're not going to let him back in Japan after this.
Wow.
Ball.
He's
Ball.
he's overthrowing.
Ball.
He's overthrowing.
He's throwing too hard.
He's too amped up.
Too hard. Can't throw that hard.
Isn't
it wild when Aroldis Chapman back in the day would come in and like throw 100 and 101 mile an hour and like it was like a novelty. It was just unbelievable. Now it's like that's just normal.
his average fastball is 97, so he's really
outside.
He's really bumping this.
Don't think about it too long now, Shohei. We need to start talking a little more shit. I need McNeil out there to just start barking. Put his bat down. I'd love to see McNeil just toss his bat on the ground and stare at him. Just let him see if he can throw a strike. Let's get in their head. Oh.
Can't believe he was swinging there.
Man. Don't like this. We need a ball more than anything, right? The percent chance of us getting a ball right here versus him actually putting a ball in play and getting on bases is drastically different. We need a ball. Let's just not swing at borderline pitches. Let's make the umpire call a strike 3 on his own country. Nice. That's all right. Good at bat. That ball boy or whatever it is down there needs to figure it out. Jeez Louise. Is that a slider? He's going to throw a slider. There's no way he's going to throw a slider. Throwing 100 miles an hour.
That was Stack. I said it was a sweeper.
Sweeper. Gotcha. Cool. That's a ball. That's a ball. That's a ball. Let's go.
That was an elite take. And
What
Jeff
a-
McNeil's not a guy. He's not a guy that walks a lot either.
Oh
He's
my
not a
God.
guy that's up there to walk.
Oh, what
a great take.
What a great call by the umpire. You know, let's give some credit to the umpire.
Yeah. No, pinch runner.
Wow. Oh,
Bobby
man.
Witt Jr.
Where's Billy Hamilton? Man, this is going to be intense. Just don't.
Bobby Witt Jr. 100th percentile in sprint speed. So this is the guy you want.
I mean, let's
like look at that lead.
Take it. I don't want to double play. I need Trout to come up with a chance to hit one to end to give us the lead. I keep saying in the game. I don't even want to be jinxing, like bring up the double play, but I need Trout to come up. Let's just take the bag. Let's get risky. No!
No.
God damn it! Not that. I told you guys. Like, that's the only fucking thing, man.
Literally comes down to Trout. Wow. Phew.
That's so disgusting, man. That hurts. I hope he hits a moon ball. Just hit one so far they don't even want to go find it. That's a ball. Thank you. I can't believe that just happened. Oh my God, that looked like. I mean, it's 100 miles an hour, but.
Everyone's recording it on their phones.
Just hit one out of here. Get lucky. That's outside. Dude, these guys are amazing. Fucking unbelievable baseball players, dude. These guys are just spitting on 100-mile-an-hour. I mean, that looks like a cutter. That's every bit of like 2 inches off the plate.
Trout's shaking his head like I can't hit that.
Didn't even consider swinging. Oh, he's gonna hit the shit out of this if it's inside.
Oh.
Well, that's challenging somebody. If we got to give respect. Respect is due on that. $102.
He overthrew that one.
Talk about it, dude. He's juiced, bro. He is juiced. Come on, Trout. It's a really good pitch, man.
Yep, came down to pitching. They had the better pitchers. It's pretty much what it came down to.
Man, that hurts.
It was a fun ball game.
Yeah, it was a good game. That's tough.
You had to get their guys earlier, though. I mean,
Right. At the end of the day, if you'd have told me that the United States only had to win or only had to get 4 runs to win this game.
Yeah. The pitchers
did their job. Pitchers did their job. Kelly gets the loss. But it's not the pitchers. I don't think it's the pitcher's fault. You got to get more than that. You got to get to him earlier. Good for Japan. That's a hell of a pitch, dude. All right, guys. We will be back better than ever. We'll let you know the next time. There's a good chance that the next time I know for sure are doing a show will be obviously the night before opening day. We might sneak one in before then. I don't know. Depending on
Maybe let's do a Twitter Spaces maybe sometime this weekend.
Yeah.
That might be fun.
That could be fun.
Want to run some promos?
Let's do some Twitter Spaces. Run some promos. Let's see what we got. For those that don't know, if you are just tuning in, we run a daily show on Chatterbox Sports YouTube page called Off the Bench with Tom Brenneman. It is from 10 a.m. till noon, Monday through Friday, Eastern Time. We also have a couple other podcasts, one that's very relevant right now. I don't know if we have an overlay graphic for it or not. That's why Nick Kirby's the best in the business. We got the Rebound Rundown with Paul Fritchner. Been doing a daily local college basketball show, kind of a short digest type podcast similar to Chatterbox Reds, Monday through Friday. And this is the best time of the year for that with March Madness. And then, of course, we always have what we do, which is Chatterbox Reds. And Nick Kirby kind of knocks that thing out every single day. And you can download it. Please rate it. Give us a review if you haven't already. Just say something kind. It helps us out, helps with the rankings. And that is, again, daily. So for all of us at Chatterbox Sports, between myself and Nick Kirby, take care.